test. You are looking live at the Halifax Forum. It is the final game of the round robin competition between the Bedford Blues and the Sydney Steelers here at the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships on 360 Live. Hi everybody, my name is Dan Hobson. Delighted to bring this one to you. Starting goaltenders, Jackson Hurley will get the start between the pipes here for the Bedford Blues as they continue that goaltender rotation. Albert Hurley. Albert started yesterday. Of course, they had 2 games, and it will be Hurley starting today. Owen Stonehouse will get the start here for the Sydney Steelers. He had a little bit of a rough championship, hoping to try to finish off on a good closing note. As we get ready for the final game, the Steelers playing for pride, Blues playing for second place. Right now, they are in third place. They have 11 goals for, 5 against, and 2 wins and a tie. Good enough for 5 points, and are tied with, or currently right now are tied with the West Hants Warriors, but a win will jump them ahead, and based on the better goals for, goals against numbers, will drop Glace Bay to number 3 in the standings as Corbett will step into that one there for the Steelers. Amiro getting a chance to play, and I gotta like the social media tweet there as Emmanuel will follow up here for the Blues, and I'll finish that point there. They were of course talking about some of their call-ups and thanking one of them, which was Amiro, as well as Rachel Walsh wearing number 3 there, the female here on this Bedford Blues team. That hard work plays off. Hashtag a classy move by a classic organization led by Greg McDonald, Peter McIsaac, and Matt Wambold. Here's Miller's shot, and that goes over the net. Good chance there in the early stages here of the opening period as the Blues are pressing once again, and it's stopped there by Stonehouse. Stonehouse is actually looking for it and then looks out behind. Most importantly, it doesn't trickle across the line, and it keeps it no score here. A minute 18 gone here in the first period. Blues came in here this one with an 18-7-3 record in the regular season. That's good enough for second in the Central Minor Hockey Federation. Defending champions of this event, won it last year at St. Margaret's Bay. And the Sydney Steelers 17-8, second place in the Cape Breton PeeWee AAA Hockey League, but they have had a tough championship so far, and they've really faced the top 2 teams in the early going, and it was really hard to get anything going momentum after that. Their trip here so far at the championships, as I mentioned, a 7-1 loss to the West Hants Warriors on Thursday, and then they faced the Tassa Ducks yesterday morning. 15-0 was the score of that one. And then Glace Bay, their own league rivals, defeated them 10-2. So that's how their tournament has gone, sitting at 0-3 in last place. 3 goals for, 32 against. Definitely something that they would like to forget, but use it as a learning experience, as going back to his own zone is Kieran McPhee there for the Steelers. But he can't get it out. Trying to get a shot with Sangster, fans on it. Once again, great work there by McPhee, but they still can't get it out. LeBlanc now trying to spin away, now going to the corner. Murphy up with the puck there for the Steelers. But once again, the ice is sort of tilted. LeBlanc in behind the net, and one of the Blues players goes down. It was Chandler, and he's quickly back up. McCarron with a wrist shot, and it's through a maze of players. I'm not sure if Stonehouse saw it, but it went wide. There is Walsh, the call-up that we were talking about earlier. And earlier, of course, in the tournament, Isaac Storm played for this team and actually got a goal, and he had a chance to actually sit back and watch his team play on Friday. And he was in the lineup for Colin Perrier, who missed Thursday's game, but played in the 2 games yesterday, as that will bounce just outside the line. And it's slapped down the ice there by Mullen, and he'll go off for a change. 2 minutes and 49 seconds have surpassed here in the opening frame. Let's talk about the Bedford Blues journey here at the championships. This is the last round robin game. They had the late game on Thursday night, and they skated away with a 4-1 victory over the Halifax Hawks. And then Friday, there of course was 2 games for them. And they had a 3-0 win at the 12 o'clock game yesterday versus Pictou. And they had the late game last night, and it was a tie against Glace Bay. So they're staying out of the loss column. That helps here in a short tourney like this. It really is a short one. It's, yes, you have 7 games, a long day, and every team had 2 games on that Friday, as that's gloved there by Stonehouse, and he holds on, as in the neighborhood there was a mural for the Blues. So it's a pretty simple here for the Bedford Blues win, and you've got second place. They had the skills competition, and they still have the orange dots on the ice. They have resurfaced it, but that's going to be tough to get off the ice here. So it's not your screen at home. And so, as they say in the television and video broadcasting business, please do not adjust your sets. Kenzie Carew, who is part of the skills competition, and Seymour and Kennedy, the forward line here for the Steelers. We're thinking about coming across the line, but the Blues put that out the pasture just like that. Jackson Bell sends it up there, and Miller going to come up with a loose puck, and he's got some room. Here's Miller going in, a Stonehouse shot, scores! Cone Miller. Three minutes and 59 seconds. 1-0. Miller going again. He's not satisfied with just one. He wants another one. Miller goes down Main Street, and he's hauled down, and he's going to draw a penalty. A hooking call. Our first one of the game. We'll go against the Steelers. And heading to the box for them will be Reynolds. So just like a minute after the goal, now it's a Atlantic Acura power play here for the Bedford Blues. Miller going again, hauled down. There's another penalty, so it'll be a 2-man advantage for 1:40. As Dan corrects his math here. "40 seconds after the first Miller goal, they get a penalty as Miller was driving down the middle. So it's a 2-man advantage now. That triangle set up here. Fitzgerald as well as Murphy and McPhee, the penalty killers here for the Steelers. McPhee has lost his stick, so he's going to have a hard time trying to defend in front of the net, but he's keeping the lane clear here for Stonehouse to see. Pass there as they try to set up Buffett, and he gets a piece of it. I think he healed that one. Blues kept to the outside. They look a little disorganized, but they'll follow up here as Buffett will watch the line here. He'll play the point as well as Mathers. Miller drops off. Mathers, that's not on goal. Buffett comes up. Cross ice, swing and a miss. Millett, he won the skills competition that was held earlier this afternoon here at the Halifax Farm. 38 seconds remaining in the penalty. Two-man advantage here. Atlantic Acura power play here for the Blues. Reynolds is off for the hook. And that's what's remaining here in his penalties. 25 seconds, wrap around and backhander. And they ran out of real estate and really lost the angle, too, to get a good shot as that deflects off a stick and into the netting. And it went off a Steeler player, so it will stay inside the blue line. 9 minutes and 18 seconds remain in this first period. Play back underway. Penalty winding down. The first one is that for the Steelers. McCarron wrist shot. Stonehouse sees it. That was a nice job there by Corbett as he cleared the lane. As the first penalty is now over as Reynolds joins the play. 15 seconds. This is a big kill here for the Steelers. Trailing by one. They really can't afford to get down. Goals have been hard for them to come by here at the championships. So the lower scoring it is, the better it is. Here's Reynolds now. Reynolds going in. Reynolds scores! Short-handed goal. As just getting out of the box was to Brett. .6:19 the time. Reynolds ties it up. Blues coming back. Boy, these teams are not wasting any time. They draw the puck at center ice and then they get on the attack. We said it was a big two-man advantage, and sometimes you see in this sport you get a little bit of a lift killing that. They killed the first one, and it won't go down as a shorthanded goal, but the player just stepped out of the box when they scored, so Reynolds will get it, and he'll tie it at 1. Miller 3:59, Reynolds 6:19, where we stand here. Shot, scores, Emmanuel. Didn't last for long for Sydney. Bedford now leading 2-1. "20 seconds to be precise. And it's 2-1. So goals here in a 20-second span. Exchanging goals makes it 2-1. Now how does the Steelers here respond? Mullen now trying to go down, laser for Gauguin, and getting a piece of it is Hurley, and he'll cover up as the pressure was starting to come in front of that blue ice. .804 remains here in the first period. Probably based on the way the teams have performed offensively here at the championships. Could be, we're thinking maybe a low-scoring game, but I'm not too sure right now. A shot out from outside there by Perrier is stopped. Mathers trying to get it through a maze of players. Seymour looks up, and Perrier was in the way, so he lost the puck. Oh, there's a trip there. We'll see if Kennedy gets away with it. Both arms are down. He looked up. He looked guilty. In the meantime, back come the Blues the other way, led by Miller. Centering pass. Buffett with the shot. Blocked and goes towards the corner. Going up for a loose puck is Tyler Seymour there for the Steelers. It comes out front. Miller again. Perrier backhand scores. .742, 3-1. So much about the low score, but it really would help the Sydney Steelers if they can keep the score down. May come away with their first points here of the championships. They know one thing, this will be their last game of the season. The Pictou County Crushers or second to last, but they will be hosting the Provincials. Here with a burst of speed is Reynolds now. To Brett was there trying to get the backhand, and he couldn't field it and settle it down. 6:49 remaining, first period. Chandler trying to go wide. Chandler keeps on going to the net as it goes for the blue ice and out the other side, and players go down and back come the Steelers the other way. They're led by Jennings. Jennings going, hooked there by Walsh. Walsh lifts the stick. To be precise. In the meantime, Reynolds is just fighting to get to the bench as he is injured. And they finally get to the bench, and Gauguin gets on his jets to get back there. Oh, they try to do a wraparound, and just fresh is Fitzgerald as he takes it away, and he's off to the races. Fitzgerald and Logan was thinking about dropping, but there was nobody there, and here come the Blues now. Quickly up the other way, Emmanuel, who's got a goal up to Amiro, rolls in the Stonehouse, and he'll cover up for the stoppage and play. 5 minutes and 53 seconds left in the first period. Miller, 3:59 for Bedford. Reynolds, 6:19 for Sydney. Made it 1-1, and Emmanuel and Perrier. 63 seconds apart, 2 goals for the Bedford Blues. They've kind of given them a little bit of a good cushion here in this first period. 3-1's where we stand. Out the blue ice the other side. It's set up there by Manning. Knocked down by Alexander Gillis there for the Steelers. Bell trying to hold the line, and kind of does, so now Gillis will have to regroup and get things going, and now the Steelers are up the center ice area. Gillis takes a little bit of a bump there from Amiro, and he'll keep it going and sit down into the corner. First back is Cameron Emmanuel, and here's Amiro, the call-up. May not have a name on his jersey, but boy, he's probably a favorite name there on the team here for this Bedford Blues team. Seymour, and a nice stick there by Manning. Xavier Manning, solid D. McPhee stops it. We have whistle stop and play. Too many men going to be called here against the Sydney Steelers. So back to the Atlantic Acura power play for the Bedford Blues. For too many men. At exactly 10 minutes of this first period. Gauguin will serve it. Unlucky bounce there is for the Steelers, so it is power play number 3 here for the Bedford Blues, brought to you by Atlantic Acura. McPhee tries to clear but can't. Manning knocks it down. Manning sees the screen, takes the shot. And now he'll get a second chance. He gets the return pass from Perrier. There is Perrier. He's got a goal here in this one. Perrier dancing with the puck. Back to Manning. Manning trying to feather it through, and Seymour gets a piece of it, but it still goes towards the net. Millet there, wrist shot by Perrier. Didn't waste time releasing that one and didn't miss by much. Miller, wrist shot, glove save, Stonehouse. Wow, that was a nice one. Maze of players in front. I don't care, I'm stopping that, says Mr. Stonehouse. Of course, his goaltending buddy, Brody Campbell, won the goaltending competition here at the skills competition. Of course, they're going to have the awards and the All-Stars immediately following this last game of the round robin. And the All-Star team and overall awards is being brought to you by Waterford Energy Services. Chandler now for the blue ice, and a tap in there by LeBlanc, scores, makes it 4-1. They score on the Atlantic Acura power play, 10:51. Bedford makes the Steelers pay for that too many men penalty. 5-a-side here with 4 minutes remaining here in this first period. 4-1 the score. Bedford knows the situation as this will roll into Stonehouse, and he covers up here for the stoppage and play. 3:58 remaining here in the opening period. Steelers were just kind of maybe hoping here to try to have a good, close, competitive game and maybe pull out a win to end their season and have something to hang their heads high as they leave the championships. But the Bedford Blues, they're playing for something, and that's second place. Of course, earlier today, we had a chance to cover it there, was the Tassa Ducks over the West Hants Warriors. 11-0. There's another one as LeBlanc scores. 11:28, the time of that one. LeBlanc gets his second, and it's back-to-back for him. 5-1. You can see just business as usual here for these Bedford Blues. As they fight there in the center ice area, trying to come up with a loose puck, and it's going to be blown down. 5-1 the score, LeBlanc 11:28. So Miller, Emmanuel, Perrier, and LeBlanc ×2 there for Bedford, and Reynolds, the low marker for Sydney. Sydney 5-1 as we stand here in the opening period. We're maybe expecting a low-scoring game, but that's not going to happen. Fitzgerald trying to come up with a steal. And he gets tangled up there with the official and Buffett, but in the meantime, the Blues will get something going here. Here's Emmanuel, who's got a goal in the corner. Jewett there with the backhand, and Emmanuel will try to come up with it once again. Buffett here, Amiro, Mathers now. And that hits a stick and goes in behind the goal. Amiro in a foot race, and he'll easily beat Mullen to the puck. Manuel, Fitzgerald there as they trying to come up with a one-on-one battle, trying to kick it up to his stick. Great work there by Fitzgerald. Braylon Fitzgerald, number 67. But the Blues still have it pinned down there in the Steelers zone. 2:23 remaining here in the first period. Blues once again kind of get something going. Amiro goes down, quickly back up. Emmanuel pressing. Amiro now trying to come and wrap around. Mathers now has it. Thought about teeing up. Emmanuel's going for a change. He's gassed, so this means that Buffett will send it in towards the corner. And they're making a line change as they have in the attacking zone there of the Steelers, the Blues are. The Steelers will finally get it out. Hurley watches it go down the ice for the icing call. 1 minute and 46 seconds remaining here in period number 1. Puck back out to center ice as plays back underway here at the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWeeAAA Provincial Hockey Championships. My name is Dan Hobson. Delighted you could join us wherever you're watching here on 360 Live. It's the last game of the round-robin portion of the championships. The playoffs are tomorrow. Perrier was licking his chops, hoping to pick the pass off and go up for a good chance. Not to happen. Kennedy with a worm burner along the ice that Hurley easily steers aside. Swinging at this there by Murphy, and here go the Blues. Miller gets in behind the D. Miller, wide of the net, and tries to play it off the lively boards and try to bank it past Stonehouse, but no success. A minute and 6 remaining here in period number 1. And as you see, it's been all Blues as they are looking pretty prime and getting closer and closer as every second ticks off the clock to being in second place after the round-robin portion of the championship. So Glace Bay Miners are probably watching back at the hotel, or maybe some are here in attendance here at the Halifax Forum. We're maybe kind of hoping there that their league rivals will give them a hand, but not so much here. Sangster tries to jam it in on Stonehouse. We have under a minute to go here in the first period here. 5-1 to score, as you see. Seymour comes together there with Chandler. Manning now tries to put it through. Backhand scores, LeBlanc. And that's a natural hat trick for him. Back to back to back. 6-1. 14:29 the time. And it's 6-1. Blues are just keeping on coming. Of course, goals for, goals against is how they really determine the tiebreaker format of this. And based on the goals against being better for Bedford, as Stonehouse has to cover up again, they were going to get second place with the win, and now they're looking really closer to pretty well having 7 points, tied for the Glace Bay Miners. Ducks with 8 points, 38 goals for, 3 against. Glace Bay has 22 goals for and 11 against. Bedford Blues 11 goals for, 5 against. Right now they're up to 6 and 17. 17 goals for and 6 against as the horn goes to end the first period. Hard to believe at one time it was 1-1 as Miller got a goal for the Blues at 3:59, and Reynolds responded almost 3 minutes later, making it 1-1. But then Emmanuel Perrier and LeBlanc times 3, 5 straight here for the Bedford Blues have blown this one open. 6-1's where we stand here after the opening 15 minutes of play. So we'll be back with second period coverage here from the Halifax Forum right after these words from our local sponsors. Referee ready to drop the puck at center ice here for period number 2. Of course, feel free to reach out here during the broadcast. That is my Twitter handle, as you see right up there, Dan Hobson 12. I've been giving updates throughout, and tomorrow we're going, being championship day, we're going to try to get right up close here with the remaining teams of the championships. So you can follow along, and maybe we'll have some inside sources of the thoughts and the processes of what's going through the coaches' minds for, of course, Championship Sunday here at the 2019 Nova Scotia Provincial Hockey Championships here on 360 Live as we're back underway here in the second period. Steelers have it near center ice area. Reynolds, who's the lone goal scorer, just manages to keep that in as it tips off the glass, but he has iced the puck in the process, so they'll bring it back down into the Steelers zone. Coaches yelling out instructions, talking to the players here. So we began with 7 teams, and by the time that this one is over, we'll be down to 4. The 4 have already been determined: Glace Bay, Bedford, Tassa, and the West Hants Warriors, as Hurley makes that stop. A pat on the back there from teammate Poirier. He's got one of the 6 markers here for the Bedford Blues. And right now, as of course the West Hants Warriors I thought would be, and against the Ducks I thought would be a really close game. That did not come to fruition. It was 11-0 win there for the Tacit Ducks. So learning experience here for the West Hants Warriors. They'll take on the Ducks there. That will be the first game of the playoffs starting tomorrow morning. The teams will have a chance here to get a little bit of rest before the playoffs. As it's 4 versus 1, that's 8:30 tomorrow morning. The backhand there, unsuccessful, and was Miller there that time. Oh, that one gets through, scores as team captain Tyler Seymour, who's been a little bit snake-bitten, has had chances, and he finally gets one as it goes through the hole of Hurley, and he makes it 6-2. Minute 14 here into the second period. It has been, yes, a tough championships here for the Sydney Steelers, but having a chance to talk to some of the fans as well as the people around the tournament who are probably right closer to the action, closer than we are. And a backhand scores, and that is Chandler. He gets in on the act. .135, 21 seconds took for Bedford to respond, and they have their 4-goal lead back again. (7-2) now. 5 is. It's a new math, Dan. Come on, get used to it. Here's Walsh now trying to send it down to the corner. And that's in again as Chandler scores, and it goes back to back, making it 8-2. Three goals in 43 seconds. I don't know if that's a record or not, but makes it 8-2. Amiro trying to go in, takes a light rub there from Fitzgerald. Puck goes down into the blue zone. Two and a half gone here in the period as Emmanuel's on the dash once again. Has Amiro and Jewett with him. He'll decide to go right around the net and back to the blue line here. Bell with the shot and a glove save. Stonehouse showing that he's got some leather too. Flashing that glove. Coming up to 3 minutes gone here in period number 2. Looked like it was going to be a close game, but Bedford were 5 straight there in that first period, have really margined the gap. 8-2 where we stand here, the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Championships here on 360 Live. Battle outside, just outside the blue ice there. It was loud to start this game, but it's gotten a little bit quiet here as Buffett can't get that one to go through. Lively boards, and the Steelers were right there, and they try to clear and can't. Mathers keeps it in. Perrier trying to get a shot on goal. Now he'll get a shot. Stonehouse has a little bit of difficulty at first, but recovers and stays with it. And the Steelers, McPhee gives a little bit of a shot, and I think he's going to go to the gate for it. Roughing after the whistle, most likely. Actually, they're going to take Miller as well, so it's going to be coincidental minors. So it'll be 5 aside, so referee making that indication to both benches that it will be 5 aside. 11:16 remaining here in period number 2. Blues get it, win it back. McCarron now, and unable to settle that one down was LeBlanc. LeBlanc now will go up front there. Waits for the pass. It doesn't come as Jennings picks that off there for the Steelers. And here comes Reynolds. He's got 1 of 2 goals here for the Steelers. Trying to go up again. Reynolds down the middle. Reynolds, nice moves. Pad save there by Hurley. Loose puck up for grabs. And it hops over a Steelers stick before he can get a shot. And the Blues come back the other way, led by Sangster. Here is LeBlanc as they crisscross. That doesn't get through. Is getting in the way of that one was Gillis there for the Steelers. LeBlanc once again back to Walsh. Walsh with their head up. Puts it right on to LeBlanc, but he has a little bit difficulty handling it. Walsh gets the return pass. Happy just to get that cycle game going. Sangster back out to the point. McCarron. That's a stop there by Stonehouse. Gillis maybe trying to relieve the pressure, trying to ice the puck here as Blues have some pressure on. Here is Jennings. Picked off by Sangster partially. Walsh. McCarron once again. LeBlanc puts on the brakes. McCarron steps into it and misses everything. Manning comes in. Pinch in to keep it alive as the Blues were making a change. They're allowed to do that because, of course, they have the short change here in this second period. They could change forwards pretty easily. And as for the Steelers, they will have the long change, so the Blues can actually even get in behind and get some odd man rushes or maybe even potential breakaways. Seymour, 1-on-2, looking for some help, but he'll actually turn around, wait for some help, and loses the puck, and go back to center ice for it. Emmanuel really pressing hard, and a couple of Seymour's line mates were inside the line, causing that offside. Nine minutes and 20 seconds remains here in this second period. Kennedy has Carew with him as well as Seymour. They were inside the line, so it's dumped in, so it's delayed offside. Now they're onside, ready to get back on that forecheck are the Steelers, and the Blues will get out to center ice, led by O'Meara. Emmanuel has a hard time handling that. Jewett comes up with the puck. Not sure how he did that. A lot of snow outside that bench. He gets a shot and a rebound as Stonehouse pokes it away just in time before Emmanuel can get his stick on it and have a wide open cage to put it by. As the puck's now center ice area. Manning going cross ice. Emmanuel. Seymour gives him a light bump. Seymour goes down. Millett now the big forward going here for the Bedford Blues. Looking for help. Sends it back to Bell. Ring my bell is what Bell is hoping maybe to do and get one as we have a penalty coming up here. Get one as the terms of a goal, body contact. Our first penalty here of the second period. Atlantic Acura power play coming up here for the Bedford Blues as Corbett will go off. A backhand scores. Perrier has a second. Didn't take long to get things going on that Atlantic Acura power play there for the Bedford Blues. Maybe 4 seconds. 6:49, and I'm not talking about the lotto competition. Perrier with his second. 9-2. Blues once again coming on a 2-on-2. Here's Miller, a shot. Stonehouse makes a save, covers up. And just in time, gets a little bit of a help there from his Steeler teammate. And now goaltending change as Campbell is going to come in here for Stonehouse. So they're going to split the goaltending duties here in this one. Brody Campbell, who won the goalie competition at the showcase portion of the skills competition earlier, goes in net. Buffett. Sharp angle shot stopped. Once again, Campbell there shutting the door for the meantime here against Millett there of the Blues. So Campbell thrown right into the fire right now in this one. Buffett. As the heat's turned on here. The heat is on. Glenn Fry, 1986 here for the Blues as they continue to pound away and force the issue, and Campbell covers up as Millett might not have been able to get the backhand as he lost an edge and went down. So we pass the halfway point here of period number 2. (9-2) and still 15 minutes of play still to come, and halfway through this one, and 9 goals already on the board here, and a roughing call coming up. Another Atlantic Acura. I think one of the coaches there for Sydney, I believe, had something too much to say in this one, so he's been sent out. Nathan Curry will go to the box there for the roughing call, and officials getting together and the linesmen are talking there too, so I'm not sure if it's a player or to Brett. It's going to go over to the box, so frustration mounting here for the Steelers. To Brett will go to the box. This power play brought to you by Atlantic Acura. And the other official will come over to the timekeeper's area here. Gives everybody a chance to remind you that coming up we'll have the All-Star team and the overall awards. Of course, they're making those presentations immediately after this game. So we'll let everybody know who the award winners are, the All-Star team. And it's brought to you by Waterford Energy Services. Definitely going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's a 2-man advantage here, and Blues already up by a touchdown right now. And a tap in there by LeBlanc, and it'll makes it 10-2. That didn't really take too long there. 14 seconds. 7:55. So Brett will stay in the box here. His original call, of course, went to Curry there. So to Brett serving a bench minor, I believe, for unsportsmanlike conduct. Somebody had a little bit too much to say there on the bench of the Sydney Steelers, and it didn't really make the official too happy. Oh, another chance to try to bank it in off Campbell as they were running out of room there along the icing line. Walsh will go cross ice. So once again, it's another Atlantic Acura power play here for the Bedford Blues. And they're up by 8 already as Reynolds has it. Center ice area. Seymour now. Along with Seymour, and Reynolds gets the shot, and it doesn't quite go through. 1 minute remaining in the unsportsmanlike conduct there to the Sydney Steelers. And the Blues here trying to get reorganized. McCarron now dances into the zone there for the Blues. McPhee trying to come up with a loose puck there. Bumps him, but it's going to be the Blues maintaining possession with 36 seconds remaining in the penalty there to the Steelers. 5:50 remaining here in period number 2. Jewett now. Is at the face-off circle, fires a shot, scores! Leo Jewett scores on the Atlantic Acura power play. And it's 11-2. 9:17 the time. We have our cameras in the stands, and we're just going to have an intermission, of course, in between the second and the third period, but things starting to get a little bit lively there in the stands. Jewett, who just got that goal. So Raven strength. There hasn't really been a lot of that going on here in this game. Here is Carew. Can he get something going? No, he fans on that shot as Bell gets in the way of that one. They go in towards the corner. And it's the Blues that once again get something going in transition, led by Manuel. Has a mirror with him. Gillis gets over. Jewett there. His drive is denied there, and it's sent back in there by the Steelers. 4:55 remain here in the second period. 11-2 the score. And at one time, this was a 1-1 game, as the Bedford Blues have put 10. It was 1-1 at that time, and here comes Fitzgerald. And could we see our second penalty shot of the tourney? Yes, it's a tripping call, so it won't be a penalty shot. Steelers slamming their stick on the ice. It was, as I said, 1-1 at one time. And now it will be the Sydney Steelers that will go on the Atlantic Acura power play. As the Blues are called for a trip. .424 remains here in this second period. 11-2 the score. Dan Hobson along for the call here of this one. It's a final round robin game, a game for pride here for the Sydney Steelers and for the Bedford Blues. It meant second place, and unless the roof finally collapses here on this, as Chandler scores easily. A short-handed chance there. Exactly 11-minute mark here. And he makes it 12-2. $14 goals here in this one. Well, they're up by a 10-pack, and as the Steelers will send it down. Puck shot from outside, and Hurley has a little bit of difficulty, but no harm, no foul. And here comes Miller now going for the Blues. Miller! And he tried to go over the top shelf, and Campbell gets a piece of it and deflects it into the netting, causing a stoppage of play. 1 minute remaining here in the Atlantic Acura power play here for the Steelers, as the Blues are serving a tripping penalty. McCarron goes in behind the goal, so right now this power play powerless here for the Steelers as they get out the center ice area. Blues have it now, and they'll send it in. So nothing much going on here for the Steelers here in the power play, as it's sort of winds down. 30 seconds remain as we come up to 3 to go here in the second period. McPhee is going to be caught for body checking, and this is where things may start to get a little bit off the rails here for the teams. Body contact McPhee, and that will wipe out the power play. So I have 4 skaters aside here for 29 seconds. Curry, my apologies there. Number 48, Nathan Curry. $11:59 the time of the penalty. So as I said, it'll be 4 side. Walsh, wrist shot, stopped by Stonehouse. And a little push there afterwards there by Reynolds, and the linesmen are going to have to be pretty quick here on these whistles here to make sure nothing really in terms of shenanigans break out. And for the Bedford Blues, they have, of course, a game tomorrow to play for, so they have to keep their nose clean. You don't really want to have a suspension here that will cause you to lose a player in the lineup. They've already lost Kanellakos and Bond for the remainder of the season. They may have they may have Kanellakos back there for the Atlantics in New Glasgow if they get there. Of course, New Glasgow hosting, and the Blues to get there will have to win the championship to punch their ticket to the Atlantics in New Glasgow. Wraparound chance, and Campbell shuts the door. Actually, they got Stonehouse back in net again here, so back and forth they go with the goaltending here at the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships here, the Sydney Steelers. And they're trailing this one 12-2 as we come up to 2 to go here in the period. Now, and of course, it is a power play here brought to you by Atlantic Acura for the Bedford Blues. And it has 1:03 left in it. There's body contact there for Curry as he hit his man in behind the boards. And there's, of course, no body checking here in this league. So any body contact sends you to the gate. 2 to go here in the period. The Blues, as you see, up by 10, and they're still trying to keep going as Sangster tried to deflect that top shelf. And the puck goes by Walsh and back down. And it'll allow a fresh line to come out here for the Bedford Blues. Sangster was up there, but he was well guarded there by McPhee. Sangster gets out of there, and now outside the blue line. Him and Emmanuel as well as LeBlanc here, the forward line. There is Sangster shot. And once again, a big stop there by Stonehouse as the puck goes in behind the net. 20 seconds remain as bodies start to fly there. Right now, both arms of the official are down, so play will continue on. 10 seconds left in the body checking penalty there to Curry as we come up to 1 minute remaining here in the period. And the Blues continue that shooting gallery here this afternoon at the Halifax Forum. Penalty is over. Last minute of play in the second period. Scores! Emmanuel, as it just trickles through, and he's just saying, no celebration, boys. Let's just go drop the puck. I like that. He said, no, let's not celebrate. Look at the score. So, classy move there by Emmanuel. 14:05 the time. Writer's cramp. (13-2). Emmanuel going in. Amiro. And Emmanuel was trying to set up Amiro. Amiro the call up. There might be one too many passes that time. Steelers will break 4 wide as we have 25 seconds left here in the second period. Fitzgerald gets in the way, keeps the puck in as Mullen will send it towards the corner and in behind the goal. Manning there. Actually, it is Bell. And now it is Fitzgerald there as he sends it towards the corner. Time winding down, 2 seconds left. 1 second, and the horn goes to end this second period. 1 period remains here in this one. Of course, result pretty well known, but they'll have to play the 15 minutes. So right now, as you see, 13-2 is where we stand after the opening 30 minutes of play. We'll have third period coverage here from the 2019 Nova Scotia Pee-wee Provincial Hockey Championships in about 10 to 12 minutes. Now these words from the sponsors that made this hockey tournament possible. Welcome back to the third period here at the Halifax Forum. You're watching the Nova Scotia PeeWeeAAA Hockey Championships here on 360 Live. My name is Dan Hobson, and let's set up the playoffs for tomorrow. We have 3 games. It's all championship Sunday, and it starts with the Tassa Ducks. Tassa Ducks will take on the West Hants Warriors. They met earlier today. And maybe the West Hants Warriors will maybe use that as a learning mechanism there to try to have a little bit of a competitive game, because it was a blowout there for the Ducks. 11 to nothing was the final, and that's how this will set up. And right now it looks to be the Bedford Blues will take on the Glace Bay Miners at 10:30 in semifinal number 2. Began the championships with 7 teams, and now we are down to 4 teams, 3 championship or playoff games tomorrow, and we'll have them all here on 360 Live. This one is the last game of the round robin portion. Emmanuel going in, sets up a Miro, and a save there as going post to post with Stonehouse. It's been Stonehouse, Campbell, and Stonehouse back in. Jewett, wrist shot. Stonehouse gets a piece of it. And it's back in the net again. 14-2. Manuel coming once again here for the Blues. To Brett, hits him, gives him a little push. Manning will try to flip it in towards the corner. As we come up to 1 minute gone here in period number 3, the last period here in the round robin portion. Jewett going once again with Millett. Wrist shot, Stonehouse gets a piece, bouncing puck there, and whacking on the doorstep there was Ryland Millett. 13:50 remaining here in this third period. Steelers trying to have something positive here to have their season come to an end. This is a tough one where the take on the chin for sure. They send the pass over to Miller. It was a bouncing puck, a saucer pass, and he can't settle it down to tap it down into the net. 1.5 gone there as Mathers trying to set up Miller down low. Miller has it once again. And Fitzgerald will come up with a puck there for the Steelers. Can he clear it? No, he can't. Spins away. Nice work. Doing some nice little work, but can't get away from Miller. Steelers get to the blue line. Buffett keeps it in. Buff the Stuff. Maybe that's what he'd like to call himself as a nickname. Buff the Stuff, keeping it in. Curry tries to go off the boards. Still can't clear. 12:57 remaining here. Buffett once again. Deflection there by Miller is actually knocked down a high stick. And it will be the Steelers to play it. So play will continue on. Down into the Steelers zone. Far side boards, near side boards. Miller once again. And getting a piece of it there with Stonehouse. And it goes right off his body into the blue line. Mathers now. Pressure here by the Blues. They continue to keep it down in the Steelers zone. They finally relieve the pressure. 12:23 remaining here in period number 3. Steelers get going. Here's Mullen now. And Gogan. Gogan going towards the net. Mullen loses it. Has his stick checked there by Chandler. Here comes LeBlanc now. Tries to get behind the D. Does. LeBlanc a 2-on-1. Oh, he lost the biscuit before he could get a shot. Coming up to 3 minutes. Gone here in this third period. Walsh, the call up with the puck. Now it's Chandler there, has LeBlanc, 2-on-1 down low. Chandler, LeBlanc can't get it by, is making the save once again with Stonehouse there. Swing and a miss as Mullen was trying to clear, but no big deal as Fitzgerald gets on his horse with the puck. Odd man rush, 2-on-4, and the Blues all back, and they defended it. And not much really of an offensive chance there as a wrist shot and a blocker save there by Hurley. Hasn't really seen a lot of action here in this one. Emmanuel blows a tire, but he keeps going on, moving on, wraps around. Stonehouse says, not today, Mr. Emmanuel, not today, as he stops at that time. Try to wrap around, and he had his butterfly style right against the post. Good technique there by the young goaltender. Jewett, pass up ahead, trying to hit Amiro. That doesn't work. Jewett now with the return pass from Amiro. They try the center pass, no look pass, and Stonehouse covers up. They were trying to maybe bank it off his stick at hand, but he would have none of it that time. 10:45 remaining here in the round robin portion of the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Hockey Championships. Seymour wins the draw. Murphy a chance to clear for the Steelers. Carew up there with Manning. Gathering of the clan just inside, about maybe 10 feet inside that blue line there. Now the puck is underneath Carew. Carew looking for it. Blues will come up with it and they'll keep it in the zone and keep pressure on the Steeler team. As the puck gets just outside the blue line, Bell will slap it in. Giving everybody an update of what happened there. There was the coach was asked to leave as he threw his hat on the ice, and the officials have removed the coach from the Steelers team. So just to get everybody an update on that. But it's all elementary right now as it's 14-2. Shot! Scores! Boy, that's a beauty. I know the scoreboard is going to basically say it's not a big deal, but that is a beautiful goal there by Tyler Millett. And he knows how to get goals and points, as he had 2 goals and 2 assists and was the top scorer for the Blues at the Buster Harvey tournament held in November, won by the Tossa Ducks. But what haven't the Tossa Ducks won? What haven't they not won this year? Undefeated regular season tournament champs at the Buster Harvey, and undefeated here, and have a chance here to win a provincial championship. They are the number 1 seed going into playoff action tomorrow. Also, like at this time yesterday, I was talking about how some teams go to, of course, championships like this, playoffs, and get a good chance for experience and come back next year, and they're pretty solid. And they said that the Cole Harbour Wolfpack defeated the Steel Subarus in playoff action. It was actually the Halifax McDonald's, as that getting a piece of that was Stonehouse on the shot there by Miller, and it might have got just a little bit of the post. So I just want to retract that. Of course, I got that thanks to my good friend Kent Gooby, the former, of course, his son is the goaltender now for the Halifax Max, and they will have a series against the Cole Harbour Wolfpack, so that should be a dandy of a series in Nova Scotia Major Midget Hockey League. Last weekend in the Major Bantams, the Gulls won back-to-back provincial championships. Perrier now at the puck. Perrier waits, hesitates. Sangster there tried to get a shot. He did. And Stonehouse gets a piece as it goes in behind the goal. 8:22 remaining here in this third period. So, of course, the Bedford Blues affiliated with the Bedford Barons of the Nova Scotia Major Bantam Hockey League. And they've also had players that have really gone on to also play for the Steel Subarus. So it's a little 50-50 deciding where they want to go continue their Bantam career after their Pee-wee career comes to an end. Here is LeBlanc. But talking to Greg McDonald, he doesn't really have much of a worry as LeBlanc scores again. They racking up the points now. Thinks it's 16-2. turning this into a football score more than anything. Jason Troini, the head coach there of the Nova Scotia Major Bantam Hockey League Bedford Barons. They didn't qualify for the playoffs this year. A bit of a tough season here for Troini's troops. But you can sort of tell if you had a chance to go watch the Major Bantam this year, you can see that they're definitely in a rebuilding mode. As we're at the halfway point here of period number 3. Folks are reminded to stick around. We'll have the All-Star team and the overall awards coming up at the end of this game, and is brought to you by Waterford Energy Services. This third period is brought to you by Cushman Wakefield. And of course, there'll be the final player of the game presentation. Chandler going in, and he misses the target there. 7:10 remains here in the third period. Walsh may get caught flat-footed there as Mullen was trying to get going on his horse to come up with the puck and can't. And it goes back down. And back in his own zone is Cole Chandler. And here they come the other way. Of course, the Blues last year, provincial champions at the Pee-wee Championships. They were held at St. Margaret's Bay Arena, hosts of the Tassa Ducks. Seymour maybe hoping try to get a goal here, passes it off to Kennedy, and he has his stick checked. That's too far for Kennedy, so Ring My Bell will come up with the puck there for the Blues. Jackson Ring My Bell. Manning there. Chips it by Carew. Amiro. Keeping it going here. One-timer, not much on it. And slowly getting up to his feet there is McPhee as play continues on inside the Steelers zone. 5:56 remaining here in the period. And 5:56 left here in the Steelers season. Carew with a slight punch there afterwards, and now here come the Blues there. Odd man rush 2-on-3. Millett, Jewett, one-timer, and the pad save there by Stonehouse. I talked about the Bedford Barons being the affiliate team. A lot of players coming out of the Bedford organization playing for the Nova Scotia Major Bantam Hockey League. Of course, the Sydney Steelers will have some players moving on from their Pee-wee career, going to Major Bantam or maybe going to play high school hockey. Have some graduating players, and I can definitely speak here for probably the Steelers and say that, of course, the organization would like to thank their graduating players there, as we have penalty that will halt play as a cross-checking call. Jennings going to the box here with 4:52 remaining here in the period. And to finish off my story here, so those graduating players that, of course, will be moving on. Maybe they'll have a chance to suit up for the Joan L. Jim Cougars. And they had a surprise late in the season. And it's an interesting story. The Joan L. Jim Cougars were coming into that tournament. Of course, all 12 teams make it, so it's 1 versus 12, 2 versus 11, 3 versus 10, 4 versus 9. So it was the 4 versus 9, the Bearcats out of Truro against the 9th-ranked Joan L. Jim Cougars. They played that first game at the Emira North Center building, the home of the Joan L. Jim Cougars, and it's actually the home of the Provincials at the Major Bantams a couple of years. At the Emira Center up there. And Mathers fans on it, and swing and a miss, strike 2 there, so you're down the count 0-2. So a lot of players may hopefully maybe moving on to that program, and if they do, we'll have a chance to maybe call their name in the future for other provincial championships as part of that solid program. The Jono Gem Cougars have had some great graduating players. I've had some players that have actually moved on to play for the Cape Breton West Islanders, a team that won the Talus Cup a couple of years ago on the national stage. Another save here by Stonehouse. It has been a busy afternoon for him. Campbell got a little bit of playing time, but they just want to make sure maybe this could possibly be Stonehouse's last game in a Steeler uniform. Maybe try to give him some playing time to have something positive as he makes that stop. But they have brought Campbell in just for a little bit and then put Stonehouse back in. But, of course, as I say, some top players, some goaltenders have been pretty good out of that Jono Gem program. But when you have to think of elite players that have played for that Jono Gem Cougars Major Bantam program, Sonny Cabate. Cabate now playing for the Dartmouth Steel Subarus, the Nova Scotia Major Midget Hockey League, who won silver medals last year at the Major Midget Atlantics, which were held in Lance. And as I said, it was the Cole Harbour Wolfpack that they were the bottom seed of that. And they were undefeated at one time. And they were looking pretty good and primed maybe to get into the playoff round. And losses at the wrong time as there's a goalpost there as we are coming up to 2.5 remaining here in this third period. So hopefully maybe some of those Steeler players upon graduation will, keep at it. They've had fun here, and even the coaches have pretty well said just continue to play hard. And let's give credit here to this coaching staff of the Sydney Steelers: Joe Campbell, Rob Kennedy, Chad McDonald, and William McDonald. And their manager is Kathy Field Curry. They've had a real tough championships and been early on the other end of the teeter-totter. It has not been an easy championships for them, but they continue really to be like good sports about it as this will go in as Greg McDonald has to do a duck, goose to make sure he doesn't get hit with that puck as we're under 2 to go here in this third period. So as I was saying, the coaching staff has really put a great sportsmanship. Now, a couple of years ago, I had the ability and the honor of calling the Pee-wee Provincial Championships in Trenton, as it was hosted by the Pictou Crushers at that time, and they were coached by John Sim. And they handed out, of course, a sportsmanship award. It went to the Straight Pirates, of course, who were also competitors in that Cape Breton Pee-wee AAA Hockey League, and they were coached by another Campbell by the name of Joel Campbell. And I had a chance to meet his lovely wife, and I said, yeah, where does he get his cool and calmness? And she says it was him. So they had a sportsmanship award. It went to the Straight Pirates, and they are really disciplined. You don't see any extra shenanigans from them like after the whistle, even when they are in a situation that they're in this game right now. So, I mean, if you're a Steelers fan, a Steelers family member, basically take pride. They have a good coaching staff that really have taught a lot about being fair play and being good sportsmanship here as that rolls in to Stonehouse, who covers up. So things may not gone as well as you like, but they have kept calm, cool, and as you see, look, just skating away, not any extra shots, just skate away, go for a change. It's like they do a great job of not really looking at the scoreboard or looking at the clock, and they just play hard and they play clean. And they've enjoyed it, especially the skills competition, as we have under a minute to go here in period number 3. 16-2 the score. Maybe they have something going on here with Reynolds now. And it goes in behind the goal. And the Bedford Blues were going to clinch second place here, so they will have a date with the Glace Bay Miners. And that'd be semifinal number 2, and that's going to be at 10:30. Reynolds again here of 26 seconds, and Hurley might have got a piece of it. And it's out of harm's way. Steelers had it in, but not for long. Back out to center ice as the puck's under to Brett. And now here comes Mathers there with Emmanuel. Shot, and another save there by Stonehouse. He has been busy, and you may want to give him the player of the game as we are winding this one down. As this one will come to an end here, the final game of the round-robin portion of the 2019 Nova Scotia PeeWee Provincial Championships. And Blues will, of course, have some rest and get ready for the game against Glace Bay. And it will be definitely West Hants Warriors versus the Tossa Ducks. And that's at 8:30. Started Thursday with a team with 7 teams, 120 players, and we'll be down to 4, the final 4 tomorrow. And we'll have all the coverage here on 360 Live. Coach is really consoling their goaltender as it was a really tough one for him. Reynolds will get the player of the game for the Sydney Steelers. Player of the game brought to you here by Dexter Construction. Tristan LeBlanc, number 6 there for the Bedford Blues, will get the player of the game. So that will wrap up the round robin portion. And right now we're going to quickly do the awards presentation for All-Stars as well. The All-Star team.